Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Loddy's Locks. Back on track last night, going 3-1. Got 5 more locks for you guys today. Let's get right to it. First lock, Washington Wizards +4 in Orlando. I like teams after they play the Warriors. You go from playing a team that's on a completely different level than all the other teams in the NBA, most of the other teams in the NBA, to playing just another team like the Orlando Magic. Same idea in the playoffs. Teams that just played in the game 7 tend to have an advantage in game 1 of the next series, especially if the other team ended their series in 4 games or 5 games. Your level of play is already at a heightened intensity level. It's easier for you to get back to that level when you were just there the night before. Also, some reverse line movement going on here. If we take a look at the money, it's being bet on the Orlando Magic, and yet the spread is moving down to 3.5 instead of up to 4.5. We're still going to take it at the number it opened as. Lock number 1, Washington Wizards +4 in Orlando. Lock number 2, Cleveland Cavaliers +9 at home against the Miami Heat. Cleveland has been blown out, beaten by 16 points or more in 5 straight games. Before that, they beat the Lakers in LA. Of those losses, 4 of them have been on the road. Their last game at home, they got embarrassed, losing by 16 to the Chicago Bulls. Their pride at some point has to kick in. They will be able to keep this game close up against a Heat team that's having troubles of their own, losers of 4 of their last 5. Lock number 2, Cleveland Cavaliers +9 at home against the Miami Heat. Lock number 3, New York Knicks +10 in Brooklyn. Now, I was a little surprised when I saw this spread. These teams have played twice earlier this season, and the spread was -1 in both those games in favor of the home team. The Knicks won their game at home, and the Nets won their game at home. Now, obviously, since then, the Nets have been on a tear, while the Knicks have been one of the worst teams in the league, which is why this spread is very different than the spread in the first 2 games. But at some point, people who get paid to create betting lines determined that there's only a 1 point difference between these two teams. They obviously have had to adjust that for this game since one team is 26-23, the Brooklyn Nets, while the New York Knicks are 10-26. I believe these teams are a little closer in talent than their records would indicate. I believe the Knicks will get up for a game against a rival, a battle of the New York teams. The Nets are fat and happy on a 5 game win streak. They may lack a little urgency. They may miss some shots they normally make. I think the Knicks can keep this game close. We're going to take them +10 for lock number 3. Lock number 4, my hometown team, the Toronto Raptors -3 in Houston. I believe the Rockets are overachieving. On the season, they're exactly where they should be record-wise. They began the season underachieving on this recent run. They're overachieving. Everyone looks at them and sees the Rockets team from last year that almost beat the Warriors. This is not the same team. They've gone 16-6 over their last 22 games to move from 11-14 to 27-20. That stretch began about midway through December, right around the time teams get a little complacent, start to get a little bored. Not a team like the Rockets, not a team that's underachieving. They stay motivated. So when they play, they're playing with a playoff level intensity up against teams that are either so bad it's hard for them to find motivation, or teams that are secure in their playoff position. Guys are looking forward to the Christmas break. Guys are looking forward to the All-Star break. While the Rockets are playing for a playoff spot, and it's not a coincidence that since they secured that spot, they've gone 5-5. They won 11 of 12 to move from the 10th spot in the West to the 4th spot in the West, and since then, they've gone 5-5. The point is, especially at this point in the season, if you have a roster that's competitive, roster that has enough talent to beat any team in the league on a given night, and you're playing with playoff level urgency, you can get wins against pretty much any team in the league. So now the Rockets are 5th in the West, 5-5 in their last 10, up against a Raptors team on a 3 game road trip. They lost a close game in their first game of their road trip against a team they could potentially meet in the playoffs in Indiana Pacers. They're hungry. They don't want to start this road trip 0-2. Plus, Kawhi Leonard's rested the last few games, and if anyone in the NBA can slow down James Harden, it's Kawhi Leonard. If he manages to get by Leonard, he has to deal with Siakam and Ibaka at the rim. The Raptors are just too deep, while the Rockets don't have enough. I like Toronto -3 for lock number 4. Lock number 5 and final lock today, Utah Jazz -10 at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the Wolves are on a second night of a back-to-back on the road. They played in Los Angeles last night. They'll be without Derrick Rose and Jeff Teague. If either or both guys play, then this is not a lock. The Wolves are on a 3-game win streak, 2 straight on the road. This is a team that's 8-16 on the road, so there's no question that they'll lose this game. Will they be blown out? What was Jimmy Butler's biggest problem with the Wolves? He said they lacked heart, particularly Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, the two T-Wolves that are healthy for this game. Guys without heart don't play well on the second night of back-to-backs on the road. Guys without heart are content after a 3-game win streak, 2 coming on the road. And the Jazz are back to playing at the level they were playing at when they got to the Western Conference semifinals last season. Lock number 5 is the Utah Jazz -10 at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's all the locks for today. Good luck for placing any bets, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow.
Major key alert! I got the keys. I got the